Okay, guys, so I'm bringing hot news. If Freedom Front Plus has cut ties with the DA because they're saying Ubana DA like they never have pure intentions. Whenever they're negotiating, they never have pure intentions. They don't want to be told, they want to dictate. And I'm so happy that this is coming from the Freedom Front Plus. It's coming from a white party. Because every single thing that I'm about to tell you now, the story that I'm going to tell you of what happened between the DA and the Freedom Front Plus, it's exactly what Herman Mashaba said. And when Herman Mashaba was saying that, I remember he had an interview right now with Mike, and the member said, yo, Herman Mashaba is so bitter. Is so bitter that he left the DA. And Herman Mashaba uthi, I'm not bitter. I'm telling you of incidences that happened, and nobody knows the DA more than me. But they're just laughing at him. But menzungati, he's stupid or he's crazy. Now the Freedom Front Plus was in a coalition with the DA. They were governing Oosten together. So Uti, it was the Freedom Front Plus, it was the DA, it was the PA, and I think it was the ANC, I'm not sure. So Imeya ye-DA wanted to run things by themselves. He did not want to consult. So the Freedom Front Plus started complaining, that's not how a coalition works. You bring the idea, we discuss it, we agree, and then we implement. You don't just implement in ungat you are alone. And then that mayor did not want to listen. And then the Freedom Front Plus went to the DA and they complained and they said, guys, listen, this guy that you've brought us, this mayor, is not working with us. And the way he's treating us, we're not happy. Take this guy out, select another mayor from the DA, bring us another mayor, because Lorna, he's not cooperating. The DA did not agree. And the DA ended up saying no, they are walking away from the coalition. Then Baba Susumea Wabo, they'd rather walk away from the coalition. Then if Freedom Front Plus was like, okay, fine, we're not gonna beg you. We're not gonna beg you. If you want to walk, walk. And then the Freedom Front Plus ended up working with the ANC and Wara Wara, and they formed the government. Now the DA went around and they started bad-mouthing the Freedom Front Plus. They are working with the ANC, wara, you can't trust them. But now the Freedom Front Plus is saying, hypocrites, because you are in the government of national unity with the ANC. The audacity of you. Secondly, you know why we ended up with this coalition is because you didn't want to cooperate. Now you going around, you talking about us? Really? The DA is supposed to have the back of the Freedom Front Plus. They are the only white parties, but the DA wants to stab the Freedom Front Plus so that they can get their votes. Okay, so, and that was the end of that relationship. So now the Freedom Front Plus guy who's in the interview is saying that it's the same thing that Helen Zille is doing to the ANC of the Government of National Unity. He says that, we had a meeting this other day in Parliament before the Government of National Unity. He says that we had a meeting and we discussed the Government of National Unity, and the EFF stood up and said, no, this is a coalition. It's not a Government of National Unity. And Uti, this guy, at the end of that meeting, President Ramaphosa stood up and said that it is Government of National Unity. It's not a coalition. So Helen Zille, she's doing that, she's pushing that narrative on purpose. That narrative that says that it's a coalition. She is playing right into the hands of the EFF, and she's doing that on purpose. There is something that Helen Zille is cooking. There's something she's cooking. ETA is a hypocrite. It's just one person that you cannot negotiate with in good faith. And this is exactly what Herman Mashaba was saying. Now, Herman Mashaba, from where he was coming from, I was the mayor of the DA. And every single time I would go and negotiate and put an idea on the table, consult with the EFF because I was in the coalition with them. And the DA didn't want me to consult. And I said, but I have to consult with the people that I'm in a coalition with. We have to be in agreement. And they did not want that. That's why they ended up throwing Herman Mashaba under the bus. Because with Herman Mashaba, the EFF has never given me any troubles. So i-DA icapkela laa nto ke ngoku ungathi ngoku Herman Mashaba is promoting the EFF because now indeed they've painted the EFF to be the bad guy. Now Herman Mashaba coming up and promoting the EFF, it's not gonna look good for the DA. And because their campaign is vote for us, let us stop the hooligans from coming into power. That is their campaign. So now if Herman Mashaba talks nicely about the EFF, it's not a good look on them. Now, they didn't want Herman Mashaba to consult with anybody. They wanted him to just do whatever the DA wants. The same thing that's happening with the mayor in Oosten, because he wanted to do everything, he did not want to consult. Which is, guys, in a coalition, you can't do as you please. You have to consult. You have to talk with the other people that you're governing with. And I want the DA to get to the point where they don't have anybody to work with, because this is what's going to happen. They've burned their bridges with the Freedom Front Plus, but the Freedom Front Plus says if they come back, we're willing to talk. I want them to burn their bridges with the ANC. I want this GNU not to work, for them to burn their bridges with the ANC. They've burned their bridges with the EFF. They'll never work with the EFF. They'll never work with the MK. I want them to be cast out and sit in the cold. And I want this thing that's going on between them, the Freedom Front Plus, to grow so that even the Freedom Front Plus doesn't want them. Because they're hypocrites. It's the same thing that Gayton McKenzie said as well, that DA negotiates in bad faith. They want to dictate. They are quick to let you sign the of intent. There's to sign the statement of intent. But when they want to change the rules, they change the rules. They don't care. It doesn't work like that. So I am so glad this is coming from a wide party, so that Herman Mashaba is bitter. And I want them to come out and to that guy, the DA did not want to govern Gauteng. Trust me, they did not want to govern Gauteng because it's closer to the elections, and they probably checked, and I saw that they are far from, they will not be able to fix Gauteng quickly. So their campaign is going to be, look at what they've done at Joburg, look at what they've done in Gauteng, vote for us. That's going to be their campaign in 2026. Politics.
Along and convince people of your ideas. For example, let me give you another example, which was a huge bone of contention. There was a developer that wanted to develop a certain project in Oudtshoorn. And the municipality came and they said, well, fine, there's need to be a movement of a certain sewage pipeline under the property. And the cost for the moving of that pipeline was 3.1 million rand. So the council said that cost is for the cost of the developer. The mayor insisted, no, the council should pay. The council refused, and the people said, no, we're not going to do that. Then suddenly the director of infrastructure who made this point was fired by the mayor. And no disciplinary process was followed. He was just fired for another reason, alleged another reason. So February, once again, the mayor once again comes with the same issue. The pipeline should be moved, and it's for the cost of for the council. The other parties in the coalition asks for a legal opinion. Let's make sure, before the legal opinion is done, the mayor instructs the municipal manager just to move it. So that kind of high-handed approach that does not work in a coalition. And with all due respect, if you go to the ANC at that stage, who were part of the opposition, to get your budget pushed through against the wishes of your own coalition parties, there's no coalition. This is not how it works. And that's my problem. Is the underlying problem here is this. Is the Democratic Alliance really committed to coalitions? Or do they think they can co-opt other parties to give them the necessary vote when they need that, and for the rest, they should just behave themselves and keep quiet? That's not coalitions. That's not how you're going to take it forward.
That's interesting. The DA has got a reputation, and deservedly so, for being able to manage well. So as a consequence, perhaps that's in the DNA now. We the guys who can manage well, nobody else. You've got a challenge. The new mayor of Oosten is your guy.
Yes, absolutely. The parties in the government of local unity then decided we don't want to see that the ANC suddenly now takes charge of Oudtshoorn, because immediately the DA jumped on this immediately, and they immediately framed us, or they tried to frame us you are now in bed with the ANC. It's absolutely laughable. That's why they are sitting with 12 members in the executive on national level, serving with the ANC.